All right, my friends. Hello, hello. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to another stream. And let me just check a sound because today I'm testing a different microphone. So we will see how it goes. All right, my friends. Hello, hello. Okay, seems that it sounds quite good. So let's look into the charts, right? So yesterday we had this trade which I have opened here on the euro, and it wasn't really necessary to do that. When I did the reanalysis, then I really realized that I should actually wait a bit more, right? So we will look in what we did in here and what would be a potential next trades I will be looking for, right? Good morning, Dean. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, everyone. G4 Win. Hello, guys. Good to see you here. Very well known faces. Okay. All right. So let's firstly analyze that trade which we did yesterday. And actually, I'm gonna try to play some background music. So let's see how this goes. And let's go to the trading hub in here. So obviously, as yesterday trade, as it was a loss, I had to put it into my journal, right? So I have added everything what I need to do, and I added this model as a number 0, right? Because actually, this trade was out of my my strategy, basically, right? Because we have entered here after the potential manipulation of this Asian session, right? Speculating that price could go lower, right? However, that's nothing, nothing which is somehow fitting into my strategy, right? Then when I was thinking about it, why I have fucking do that, right? And I maybe realized with that I just wanted to probably deliver some trade, right? Which is actually the nonsense, right? So I made a mistake. I paid for that, right? But it's all fine because it's not big part of this month's profit, right? So let's look at the charts right now. And we've been basically trying to short this thing down, right? However, if you look at it correctly, what we can see in here, what's playing out in here right now is this 4-hour CLS range, right? Now it's obviously easy to see it, right? Because it's already going, right? So this 4 hours CLS range, right? This purple, there was a manipulation price closed inside here, right? And in here, we have seen that the price has been closing above this close of this candle. We have created a order block, right? Let's drop lower time frame, right? That was order block from the 4 hours. Now if we go lower time frame, we have these consecutive candles in here, right? So look, here was the order block, right? And here should be actually the entry, right? So how it should look like this, right? So here should be an entry, and I was trying to overcomplicate it, still thinking and forcing that the trade could go into the daily, right? Which did not happen, and price is moving higher from here, right? What I realized later when being dissecting the trade and looking for the reason why this played for the 4 hours is actually because we have enough confluences, right? We've been in the discount, and we have taken this transition candle, right, as we yesterday analyzed, right? This one in here, the liquidity below this transition candle, right? So it has been there perfectly, so trade could be actually taken, right? And trade it from here and targeting 50%, and then we could target these highs, right? So that's what has happened. That's what's playing out, right? And what I'm actually going to do, and what I'm always doing, is right now I'm going to screenshot this like that, right? Copy image. I'm going to put it into my notes here, right? I'm going to create a new note, right? I'm going to put the screenshot here, and also what I'm going to do is going to do 4 hours and screenshot this, right? Like that. Why is it important to doing this thing when this trade didn't make a money, and was it actually a mistake? Because by doing this, I will learn from it, right? Next time I will know, right? So what I'm going to write in here is going to be this, right? Validity. It's this is what I'm using for the analysis, right? So this is just a note, so there's not gonna be the validity. So it's a how H4 CLS in daily CLS, right? Because we had this Monday Harper CLS range, right? So I'm going to write this down, right? CLS range is 4 hours, right? Hard time frame key level. There was actually order block, right? When I was looking at back, there was actually this 4 hours order block, right? This one, right? So the setup was quite beautiful, right? We made mistake, right? So there was a order block, right? The model should be number one, right? Did it work? Seems like it's working, right? URL, we don't need it, right? So we have this, right? And right now what I want to write in here is that this trade would work even if there is previous day low, right? Why? First, right, we have been in the discount, right? Second, transition candle liquidity taken. Music is a bit loud. All right, I'm going to make it low. Give me a second. How about this? Let me know. Transition candle liquidity taken. Right? 3 lower time frame order block. Yeah, that's better. All right, let's keep it like this. Lower time frame order block. Create that. Right? Change in order flow. Right? And that's all actually enough to take a risk, right? To take a risk for the trade, right? Of course, this trade didn't have to work and it could go into the stop loss, right? But what we did is actually that we completely did something out of a strategy, and we've been still trying to, trade something what is not there, right? now it's Now it's obvious what was happening, right? And it was better decision to take a risk, go long in here, which I was actually speaking about on the beginning, and then I changed it, right? Don't know why, right? So I should stick to the initial idea, right? And not overcomplicate it. Right, and that's it, right? So right now, even though I made a mistake, I have write down the notes, right? These notes will be important for me because next time I will remember that this is a possibility and this is how it should be played, right? So right now, what's going on, right? We don't need this level. It's already tested, right? This 4 hours range, it's probably gonna be reached in here, right? So what's going on right now? Now we don't need this because we take this notes, right? We have the transition candle met in here. Right now price is retracing. So where it could go, right? If we trading this weekly CLS range in here, right? This weekly CLS range, right? So then we had the manipulation and price going into the 50%, right? Which is here. That's the model number one. Even into this transition candle, which was met in here, right? So now the model number two would be a trade from a 61.8, right? So from this high to this low, right? This is what we're measuring, and in here between these two levels, right, we could be looking for a entry, right? Now the interesting in here is also, and it's good that it's happening that way, if we go to the daily, we can see that this Monday range that the drop lower, this bullish candle didn't do this low, right? So the price is in the short-term downtrend, right? On the higher time frame, on the weekly, it's obviously uptrend, right? But right now we are in the short-term downtrend, right? It could be going down, right? We still would like to see this liquidity to be taken this low, right? And maybe going into this key level, right? Or even on the weekly, the key level is a little bit lower, right? So that's what's happening right now in here. And what I would be interested is drawing this Monday CLS range in here, right? And then looking to trade it as a continuation trade, right? Down, lower down, right? So where would be my key level? It would be something like this, right? That's what I would be looking for in here. So it's late for me right now to take a long. I missed it yesterday, and right now I'm looking for something like this, right? Did we ever seen? Good morning, Ahmed. Did we see something like that before? Right? Let me show you. Let me take you. Let me take you here. And it's actually something what has played in here, right? That was the pound, right? We have also model number one playing, right? Going lower to the 50%, a little bit lower, right? And then looking for a pullback, right? And looking for a level around a 61.8, which was actually this order block, right? And look how it played, right? So price be ranging, hit it here, and then continued lower, right? So at this stage, we could be speculating and thinking, right, that the price could maybe manipulate just this high and going lower, right? But correctly, our strategy is to trade from here, right? Trading from here. So we will see what's gonna be happening in here, and that's how I'm looking at the markets at this moment, right? Obviously, if the price goes lower into this level before reaching this, right? If it somehow doesn't give me my entry in here, and it will drop down like this in here, then it's not a problem, right? Then might I will not have a trade in here, that's fine, but I will be interested in long in here, right? So that's what I got on the euro at this moment, right? So I think we're going higher in here, right? When I would be interested, hello Simon, when I would be interested in the long, only in the case if the price might drop lower again here, right? And gives actually a model number 2, right? Which would be, because we have this 4 hours range playing in here, right? Price went higher and maybe it could drop slower, because remember 4 hours CLS range in here, if it is like that. Right, 4 hours CLS range. And again, we're playing two models, right? So the model number 1 is playing right now in here. Then it could make this pullback into our what? 61.8, right? Which would be somewhere around here. And then we could potentially take a long, right? Into here, right? So that's another option in here, but currently not overcomplicating it. Not having a trade, not being stressed by that, right? We closed amazing trades on the Monday, right, which we had on the euro from here. So let's look to the another one, which is going to be pound, right? Pound is also making this pullback, right? And we have this big weekly CLS range playing, right? There was actually also one CLS range on the weekly in here. There was just this small one, right? And we had the manipulation in here, then pullback, and then it traded inside, right? Here on the pound, I'm a little bit not clear, right? We have a lot of wicks on the top, right? The now big rejection in here, right? Not sure if I would like to short in here, right? Because for me it looks like it might would go to this double top, right? Pound could completely disconnect and move higher, right? So I have this as an option in here, and I still think the pullback should be done into the 50%, into the discount, right, and potentially into this right, transition candle from the daily, I think, or maybe from the 4 hours, right? 4 hours, this one, right, in here. So I still do think that it it could happen. It has a potential that it's going to happen, right? However, to get a confirmation for this, I would like to see a dollar index to trade into this level, right? So in this level, I don't need this. We don't need this 4 hours. Here also, this 4 hours is playing, right? And we have this daily range in here, right? And we have also this model number 2, right, confluence. So let me actually change these colors in here. In here, right? And this one I'm going to make some better visible colors, so it's going to be maybe like this. Right, so we have this Monday range in here. You can see this strong candle in here, right? Monday range. This next bearish candle didn't take this liquidity, right? So where's the liquidity now? Still above, right? It's still above. It still should go higher, right? However, you can see we are dropping down right now. So where I would be interested, obviously below this Monday range, in this order block, in this 61.8, right? So you can see we have 3 confluences, right? Let's drop to 4 hours. And you can see we have this daily order block in here, which actually digged into this liquidity here, right? It was rejected, right? So it should be stronger one. From here we're measuring a fib, right? In here we will be in the fib, and we will be in the below Monday range, right? So if the price drops lower down here and starts to do rejection in here and starts to move higher, which I think that we are going up here, right? Then that would be a signal for me to start to be interested on the euro, right? And in that case, I think the euro will be somewhere in here, and the pound maybe somewhere in here, and that could be a short also, right? Maybe pound could go higher, right? We never know. We will see. But the dollar would be leading for me in here, right? So below here for the dollar, that's what I would be looking for, right? Same thing with the USD JPY, right? Look, it looks actually almost same, right? So we can see next candle didn't take this high, right? We draw a Monday range, right? We need to find some key levels. Let's look on the weekly, right? We have these down candles. Here is these gaps actually also, right? So what would be a level in here? We have these down candles. They've been retested. Now again these retested, right? So the level for me would be probably here, right? Why? Because this is a consecutive candles where was accumulation for breaking what? For breaking this high, right? Only problem what I would have is that this did not take the low in here, right? But what's going on in here, right? You can see here is a order block created, the first one, right? Now we going step by step, right? So let's say order block in here, retested. We going higher, right? Again, this is retested, right? Retested, right? Again, going higher, this would be probably retested, right? So for the USD JPY, I think down here, right, for the continuation into this liquidity for the rest of the month, right? And we have actually the 15th, so that could play in the second part of this week, right? Maybe it's a what's the date today? It's actually Wednesday, right? So maybe today the price could be going lower because it's usually a continuation day of whatever has happened, right? So maybe some pullback, right, and price going lower. Maybe Thursday, Friday, we're gonna start have a reversal in here, or maybe this could be actually going for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then maybe the another Monday range will be created here next week, right? And then manipulation and going up, right? But that's what is a swing trading, right? This is how you need to wait and not need to rush in a trade, right? Trying to catch all these things, right? That's how I feel comfortable in looking to the markets, right? Yeah. All right. So that's for these pairs. Then what I wanted to show is here we have the Bitcoin, right? Still waiting. Same thing, right? In my opinion, on the daily, we will probably see a dip below this low, right? Because this candle has closed below this one, right? What's happening after that, right? Let me zoom it a little bit, right? So we can see this candle has closed below this one, right? So where is the liquidity right now? In here, right? So it has closed around here, and then you have a next day is an inside candle, right? Inside bar. So maybe the traders has been trying to enter the longs in here, right? And now they're using this time delusion when they basically when the market is basically trying to bore you, you know, do some stupid decisions, right? Enter in here, right? Because thinking it looks bullish. It obviously looks bullish, right? But they want you to enter in here, right? Which is stupid because you should be entering only on the top or on the bottom of the range, right? So in here, you don't do anything, right? You want to wait again for the same thing, right? You remember where the euro has actually reversed, right? Where was it? Write me in the chat, guys. Let me know. Where was it? That's great, Dean. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it, because that's the things which we have in the academy. But when you see it, when you see doing it and thinking about it live, that's probably helping a lot, right? That's why I decided to do it. Right, so let me delete this. This is just a preparation, right? So now we have this. Let's go back to the euro, right? Because a lot of things are repeating. And here on the euro, look, the price was going up, right? It was ranging, was looking bullish, and then it dropped in where? You see? Let me. Then it dropped into the discount and also below this transition candle, right? You understand this candle, right? This is where a lot of time is the price coming, right? That's why was my target in here, right? And if you look into the trade where I actually have closed it, look, I have closed my trades in here, in this transition candle, right? You remember our model is until the 50%, right? But I knew from the experiences, because I have seen it already many times, that it could come into this candle, right? That's where I have closed it. And look, this is where it actually reversed, right? So I've been able to predict precisely the target, right? But right now, let's go back into the Bitcoin, right? Remember this. What's happening here? It's bullish. Price is ranging, and they dropping it below 50% and also into this transition candle. Now let's go to the Bitcoin. If you have this experience from the euro, right? Forget about this. Would you enter here? Of course it can happen that it can go higher, right? But where the price mostly go, right? Here we have our transition candle, right? Transition candle, low liquidity, it's here, right? Also a 50%, right? So that's where you want to take a trade, right? And now if you look again into this and think about that, this candle, what has happened above these highs? They have entered longs, right? There was definitely traders, they've been trying to FOMO and they entered the long, right? Then they move it lower, right? Maybe they took them out. It depends how this played out on the lower time frame. Let me show you. Right, yes. So it went lower, right? But didn't dip below anything really significant, right? So that's why I think that I would be interested to add longs in here, right? So they actually break, right? And then they did a manipulation, right? Now it looks like this beautiful pin bar, right? But I think the liquidity still will be down here, because why? Because this candle is closing below this one. If this candle closes below, the liquidity is here. This low will be most likely taken out, right? So that's why I can draw the range in here, right? And it will helps me once the price drops down here below these things and reacts on some key level, right? And then probably there will be, if that happens, there will most likely will be another range created, right? Another big candle, because these manipulations mostly doesn't happen like slowly like this, right? There will be like a really big candle, right? That's what's happening on the reversals. Even if it is a reversal going higher, right? Then in the direction, then mostly on the lows are these big candles, right? Big candle on the lows, right? On the manipulations and on the highs, they always increase a volatility, right? So that's what I think is going to play on the Bitcoin at this moment. Aussie cat, let's look at it, my friend. Let's look at it. Aussie cat in same situation. Well, what do you mean, my friend? Exactly same situation on the Aussie cat. Let me know, because here is what I see. I see it has taken the this CLS range in here and it's going to fill it in here, right? Completely. What same situation you mean? All right, let's look through 1 hour. Yes, it's kind of, but I think that these highs will be reached, right? It's too close that I don't think that it will go lower. So what do you mean? You mean that the price is moving higher, consolidating, and that it will make a pullback, right? Okay, let's try to measure that, right? I personally don't like a 1 hour time frame, right, to do anything, right? So what we see in here, we see this weekly, right, manipulate that price going higher, right, now reaching possibly these highs, right? So let's drop into the 1 hour, but let's find out where is a. Okay, let's go 1 hour. Let's try to let's try to find what you see, my friend. Right. I would measure a dealing range from somewhere was somehow maybe from here, right? Right, because here was these lows taken. It's actually not that clear chart, this one, right? Maybe from here would be better. From 1 hour would be from here, right? Right. Right, so you're thinking the price coming down below this candle, right? And then you may be finding this as a key level, right? That might would be possible, but what you need to look always is where and how the candles are closing, right? You remember, right? You have what? This candle, this candle is closing above this one, right? So where's the liquidity? Here, right? None of the candle this took this high, right? So liquidity is still above, right? So price will most likely go higher. If if we can see that some candle has taken this high and close inside, right? And then price ranging, then the liquidity would be below that candle. But it's not happening in here, right? It wasn't taken. liquidity is still higher in here, right? So in that case, if you got something like that, and you are able, now obviously, what I'm going to show you right now, it's easy because it's already happened, right? So, right, so we have this potential liquidity in here, and then you have this quite big candle in here, right? And you drop it to the M15, then you might be able to find a trade in here, right? From this fair value gap, right? But this is not how I would really frame my trade, right? Because if you look into this weekly, it's quite already high, right? And I'm not sure if I would be trading in here, right? But definitely this two relatively equal highs, right? They looks like a nice level to go, right? After sweeping these lows, right? It was Wednesday, 9 o'clock, right? Right. So yeah, if we actually connect the time, that would be also possible, right? But I personally don't trade these pairs because we have the algo which are running on them, right? So I personally don't trade them at all. I hope you understand what I meant by this liquidity based on the candle close, right? Because if the candles are closing one above the another one, right, then the liquidity is on the top, right? You can see in here. You can see in here, right? So you had this candle, right? This candle took this one, took this high, right? And then this low was taken, right? It's obviously the market are not, there is not a perpetuum mobile to um, say that everything is definitely always like that, but the probabilities are like that, right? Also, my friend, I'm suggesting to the trading from the 1 hour and analyzing the charts on the 1 hour can be really confusing, right? I mean, 4 hours and daily, weekly gives you more clarity, right? And then you can play, then you can play the game from the, if you have the weekly analysis, then you can play the game inside, right? So that's actually what we want to do here on the euro, right? Look, we have we have what here? We have this weekly range, right? In here, high, low, right? So we had the manipulation prices going lower, and now we know that we have a probability, I should say, that the price will go into this low, right? So what we're gonna do, we will be looking for the another short in here, right? It's easier than trying to go lower time frame on the 1 hour, and on the 1 hour you will have a lot of trend changes, right? Basically, yes, in here now we can see it, right? We can see that the downtrend has started in here, right? But then a lot of people would be confused in here that maybe on the 1 hour, right? And let me move it like this, right? If you see the chart right now in here, and you are here, right? It looks really like might it want to go higher, right? If you don't have this higher time frame perspective, you could be easily trapped into the long side. Then price again going lower, right? And then you see the chart at this moment, you don't know what's gonna be happening next, and on the 1 hour it could gives you a idea that maybe we are reacting from this level, right? Also, what you can start to think is, okay, we have taken the liquidity in here and now we going higher, right? Because what? Because the order block was created in here, right? And it looks bullish, right? But then you see it goes lower against you, right? So like that, it can be really confusing, right? Then it goes slower, right? Then also in here it creates these two, these two equal highs, right? And as we know, there is mostly a liquidity, right? But actually, it will not work this time, right? Why? Because a higher time frame is in the play, right? So not always are the equal highs, they are liquidity, and price one day it will come for this, right? It will come for that. But uh, at this moment, when there is a force, when there is a control on this weekly CLS range, trading on the lower time frame can be really confusing, right? So that's what I would say about that, right? Obviously, you can. I'm not saying that you cannot do that, right? You don't have to listen me. You can do a lot of your own work, a lot of your own research, and you can prove me that I'm wrong, and I can completely be wrong, and I can accept that, right? Because what works for me doesn't have to work for everyone, and I'm not pushing everyone to follow my steps and my decisions, right? However, that's what from my experience is how it works, and this is where I failed many times, and I feel confident in what I'm doing right now, right? Okay, so now we can see the price is reaching this daily CLS range, right? We are above this Monday range right now, right? So let's go lower time frame. So it's a daily, we should go to 1 hour, right? 1 hour, right now we're coming through 1 hour to find entries, right? And we potentially could be looking for continuation lower, but you know, here is that 61.8. That would be higher probability in here, right? Now also, what you need to understand, is this enough? Is this enough? Um, is this enough manipulation, right? It's not. It's definitely not. In my opinion, it has to be a little bit deeper, right? How deep? Right, let me show you something. This is a tenth. No, it was actually 15. No, I'm sorry. When I've been doing some measurements, and again, this is actually not a definitive, but you will find out that if I add these levels, it should be like this. Right? The manipulation should be at least a 15% of the range, right? So if this is my range, this purple, right, the 15% would be here, right? That would be enough, right? And also, it's good if it takes another, not just a manipulation of that day, but some another liquidity, right? Which would be much better, right? And maybe the key level, if I'm looking at it closer in here, right, look, these lows were broken from where? From this order block, right? From this price going up and then going lower. And then if you look, where is the last up candle, right? That would be this one, right? So that would make, if if I have to trade this, right, that would make a perfect sense that the price will take also this liquidity and also reach into this key level, right? Because this is not a key level. Right now we're trading in this gap, right? Here was this opening gap. I think that if we close above this 50% of this gap, then the price will go higher, right? It will most likely go higher. Let's check if there's actually news today. right? Aussie pound, right? So there is actually again, right? New York. There will be actually a lot of news today, right? And then Fed Powell speaks, right? So that could be a driver for the today. Right, look, we are here. That's great. And we will see, right? In order to make this as a tradable for me, I would like to see a price close above this, right? That would be a creation of the order block. But then look at this. It's not from key level, right? We can actually count this gap as a key level, but if it happens in here, right? You put stop loss here, right? 50% is here, right? So that's your model number one, and this is your model number two, right? Which would be 1.87, right? That's not enough. You need at least 1 to 2, so you skip this, right? Sometimes there will be a trades which actually meet everything, all the criteria, everything will be correct, but it will not give a good risk reward ratio, right? So you skip such trades also. So we still waiting in here, right? And that would be the same on the euro, right? So we will see. We will see, my friends. What's the time? It's at 10:15, right? Do you have some pairs? No news today. Yeah, actually, I have looked wrongly. Sorry, my friends. It's a Aussie, right? So that actually makes even more sense, right? So if we have such a lot of news tomorrow, right? Look, I'm sorry. I have looked here and I thought it's a Tuesday, right? So it makes more sense if we connect it with the time, right? So for I think if there is no news, there would not be a reversal, right? So that would be like a slow coming up, right? And maybe tomorrow on the news we could get that drop, or maybe even better, right? Price could be going higher, right? Today, tomorrow we got the news, price will shoot to the level, right? In here, above these highs, right? And then we could be shorting again, right? That would be perfect scenario, right? And it also is fitting with the weekly profiles, right? Thursday is a lot of time a reversal, right? Thursday and the news, a lot of offers a reversal, right? So if you look at the weekly, what is actually happening, right? You have the Monday range created, low is not taken, right? Then the Tuesday, this is kind of right. You have the Monday range, Tuesday going higher, right? Okay, like this. Tuesday going higher, right? Maybe Wednesday, which is today, going also higher, right? Above some highs, right? Which would be this one, right? Maybe potentially the next one could be the Thursday in here, right? Start to reverse, and on the Friday maybe we start to go lower, right? That's what could be happening. And now let me show you these profiles actually, which I was saying. Where is this my presentation downloads? Yeah, let me show you here. Right, Thursday counter trend week, right? So this is actually what is playing here, in my opinion, right? We have the Monday price can, here is the price going higher, right? But we can have the Monday price drops lower, Tuesday it goes higher, Wednesday goes higher, right? And the Thursday start to reverse, right? So again, it's not the things which I'm just saying here, right? Actually, this is This could be right, the thing, right? Also, look, Monday price going down, Tuesday, but we didn't have this price taken in here, the low taken in here, right? Tuesday up, Wednesday up, Thursday up, right, into the level, and maybe reverse, right? This is what would fit into our scenario that the price could go lower into the model 2, right? Monday down, right? The low wasn't taken in here, so what does it mean if the low is not taken in here? Where is this? Here, right? So if the low wasn't taken, right, where's the liquidity? The price has dropped. This is like opposite right now, right? So price been dropping lower, the liquidity is on the low, right? Until it's taken, then the liquidity changes, right? But in our case, on that Monday low, it wasn't taken yet, right? Right, so it wasn't taken yet, so the liquidity is where? Liquidity is still down here, right? That's where the price will most likely still go, right? It will not go higher, in my opinion, without taking these lows, right? So we just need to frame our trade perfectly, right? And here is the things which actually fitting into our confluences, right? So yeah, and I would not be, if you have guys something which you want to analyze, if you want what you want to look, or if you have some questions, please drop them right now. But I would probably not do too much talking today, because I think we have looked into the most important things which we have here on the euro pound, JPY, right? Dollar, right? But I would mention, right? Yes, price is now taking this, but that's not a reason why you should trade yet, right? You need to wait your levels, your key level, right? Here you should have alarm, right, on this key level between this 61.8 here, right? As this low was taken in here, this low, right? That's where probably they bought, right? They've been buying in this liquidity when the other traders were selling, right? So below this low, the stop loss should be safe, right? Now, how we will enter, right, in this long, right? We could do it something like this, right? We could be targeting this range high or this range high, actually, right? Because it's a model number 2, remember. In the model number 2, you're targeting the whole range, right? Now again, did we see already something like that? Is it still repeating these patterns, these things? Let me show you, right? Because I'm doing journal, I know it's repeating, and now we don't have to go so far. This is USD JPY. Look, right? We had the range, manipulation, right? Price going into the 50%, now doing a pullback to the 61.8, and you targeting opposing range. Remember, you put stop loss a little bit below the range because it doesn't have to go through. Sometimes it makes a pullback, right? That's where you enter. Isn't it same thing on the dollar right now? You see it. You have the range, manipulation, price going to the 50%, right? This is a 50% in here. %. Okay, this was some alarm, right? And then making a pullback, and at the 61.8 and the key level, you would be looking for a entry, right? and targeting opposing range, same like we did in here, right? That's it. That's how simple it is. Still repeating same things over and over. Only you can't be impatient to do the mistakes in between when the price start to when the price meet our levels and do the things we want to see, right? Because this is all just enough to do these things, right? You don't need to overcomplicate it, right? And don't try to be smart also. What I've done many times is that I basically was thinking, right, all right, we now moved here, the price will go lower down, right? So I shorted, which was actually which we could do yesterday, right? So I shorted, but what had then happened? Price went higher without giving this pullback, right? So this is actually not guaranteed also that it's gonna happen. Because what we know that if we have the range, we have the manipulation, we have the opposing side, and once the specific things happens in here, we have a probability that the price will go higher, or that it will go just here and then retrace and then in second move, right? Or it can do another tricky things that it will basically go right, and it will not go nowhere. You will be fucking bored, and then it will go straight higher, right? Why? Because they did prolonged accumulation, right? So there is a specific situation when you will find out what you should do, how you should target it, right? Because for example here in the Bitcoin, right, it was similar thing, but it went all the way straight up into the highs, right, without giving this pullback, right? So why is that? Because in the strong uptrend they simply take the low and they go up, right? That's it, right? Same was actually recently on the Solana, right? So we can see price is now dropping quite sharply, which is beautiful. That means that the euro is going up, right? You see, right? So it's not enough, right? And so what's happening in here actually, right? Let me delete this thing, right? We don't know it yet, but still we have a this daily range. What is this candle? Who is moving the market right now? Who can do that, right? Probably not me, not no one like us who entered the market, right? Big players are doing this, right? And what they creating? They are creating actually the another range, right? In here, right? We don't know how big it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be just a 4 hours range, and maybe manipulated during the New York, right? In here, and then it maybe offers a model number one, right? That's also possible. That it could happen, right? The model number one retest this, then maybe higher. You don't know, but that's how you play, right? Still repeating these two things. So we're waiting. We still have a room, right? We still have a room. We do not want to play it from here. We want to play it from here, from the lower level, right? Because this is not a level. This is just a, if you're actually looking at the order blocks, right? Order block is not every down candle, right? Because you can have, it's from the supply demand, right? You have a, something like a consolidation, you know, break, you know, retracement, or just a pause, right? And this is here, right? Look at the daily. This candle is just a, it's just a, like a, like an expansion, consolidation, expansion, right? And you want to trade from the manipulations or the retracements, right? So it's this one, right? Now you might also could be thinking, where it is better to enter, right? Is it the top of this candle, or maybe is it this midpoint of this candle, right? That's what you need to find out by yourself, by doing a back test and by writing the journal, right? Because yes, if I set up the trade in here, right, I could have a better risk reward, I can make more money, right? But also price can react from here and it will not take me to the trade, right? So you need to decide, do I want to be in a trade, or I want to have just the trades with the best entries, right? So yeah. All right, my friends. So it's already 1 hour. I'm not going to be making it too long, right? Anyway, if there is an entry right now, it's not gonna be right now, yeah, because I think that would be played in here. That's when the volatility will comes, right? So as a swing trader, I would not be doing anything in here, right? It of course doesn't mean um, it of course does not mean that we're not making our money right now, right? Sitting on the hands, it's also a decision, and it's most important than trying to push it and still make a money, right? Because what I have actually also realized, and I want to give you this last tip, when I've been going through my recent journals, right, I have found out, and you can see it actually in here, right? Look, here is the dates, right? So it's a first week, then you have a second week, right? And then you have a third week where I've been trading, and I actually skipped 1 week in here. You see, I've been trading just 3 weeks in this month, right? And I have the best trades in the second week, right? Now we have a the third week was last week was good. Now in here also look, again just 3 weeks, right? February I was trading almost every week actually, but look, this week losing, right? Because it was probably some correction week, and it was against the trend, right? And I made the mistakes in here. January, right? Look, 1 week, second week, third week, right? Third week losses, right? So why is that? Why is that happening, right? Because in here, if we put it into the weekly candles, right? Look. So we have the consolidation in here, right? Then the manipulation price starting to rise up, right? And we have this trade, right? We've been taking this on the dollar, May, right? Where is it? Dollar, I'm actually trading the dollar also. I quite like it, right? So I had this trade, right? And the stupid mistake would be to try to re-enter again, right? Like this week, right? So if I do that, that this week would be probably losing for me, right? So that could be a chance that this weekly candle might be a bearish candle, right? So maybe there will not be trade, right? And it doesn't mean that to be a good trader, you need to catch a short in here. You don't need to, right? Because look, you have your market context, you have something what you understand, what you have a probability that will be play out, that it's this, right? So why you need to catch this down, right? You don't need to, right? So that's the week. This was May, right? So that's probably the week. Here it actually, where it started, Tuesday, May. So what's the month actually right now? We are actually in the May, yes, right? So if we go here, right, on the daily, here it started, right? We had the first week move, second week could be retracement, right? And then third week, fourth week, third and fourth can be expansion, right? And I realized by doing the journal that it is still repeating. There is always one, at least 1 week, if it is like that, that can fuck up completely your results, right? So we're waiting right now. It's too early for me to enter right now. It's perfectly with the all things, right? But I think in here tomorrow maybe, right? So I will wrap it up here, my friends. Thank you for coming, and I hope you learning something, right? If you have any questions, just come, just ask. Prepare them for tomorrow or for the next ones, right? And drop them in the Discord, right? So I can maybe prepare to answer to you.